Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, and today we're gonna be watching 30 geography. Okay, I messed up there. 30 geography facts most people get wrong. You know what I mean? I know here people aren't real versed on geography. Even when I tell them where I'm from, they still think I'm from Africa. They ask me about lions and elephants and tigers and stuff like that. And I try to explain to them, and they don't believe me. They figure I'm lying to them, and I'm trying to tell them, no, Grenada is not in Africa. Something simple like that. So, people aren't real versed on geography like they used to. And when I was in school on the island, we learned all the countries of the world and how to spell them and, learn about the culture and stuff like that. So another reason why I watch these videos here, to see what I don't know, so I could know more. You know what I mean? About the history, about the culture, and all that good thing. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see how much I know, how much you know, and in the comment section, hit me up with stuff that people don't normally know about where you're from.
If you are watching this video, you are probably interested in geography. Therefore, a lot of the facts we're about to tell you, you may already know. However, for the average Joe who isn't too intrigued by geography, a lot of them might get these facts wrong. Hey guys, Sam here from the Geography Bible. I hope you are having a fantastic week, wherever in the world you may be. So sit back, relax, remember to like and subscribe, and we hope you learned something new. So let's kick off this video with fact number 1. The United Kingdom and Great Britain are not the same thing. Great Britain is the official collective name of England, Scotland and Wales and their associated islands. It does not include Northern Ireland and therefore should never be used interchangeably with the UK, something you see all too often. Number 2, Holland and the Netherlands are two separate things. The Netherlands is the term for the country as a whole,
somewhat
provinces, while Holland refers to just the two provinces of North and South Holland. Number 3, Toronto isn't the capital of Canada. It is actually Vancouver. Just kidding, it's Ottawa. Number 4, Iceland isn't actually made of ice. Icelandic landscapes are shaped by the forces of nature and vary from deep fjords to vast volcanic deserts, through to black sand beaches, snow-capped mountains, and staggering waterfalls. Number 5,
No, I have to admit something here. As a kid growing up, I always thought Toronto was the capital of Canada. But I think the misunderstanding came because most people from my part of the world migrate or immigrate to Toronto. So I'm thinking, hey, you're going to the capital. Because most people, when they migrate or immigrate, they go to the capital of that country. Very rare you hear them go to other places. Now, with the advent of people coming up to the States and going to other countries to go to university, you might hear of them going to like real small areas. Like, I went to Cumberland, what was the name of that place? Yeah, Cumberland, Kentucky. Really small town. Let me tell you, that town was so small that the stores closed down in the summer when the school leaves, when the students leave for the summer, because there was no business. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't fathom places being that small in America, because when you see stuff in the movies, and you hear about New York, you hear about California, you hear about these big states, you know what I mean? So you don't expect to see small things, some small places, I should say. But I really did think that for the longest while. Also, the Iceland thing. Growing up, I always thought Iceland meant it's icy there. You know what I mean? I always thought that. And then after doing further research and the older I got, the more I realized, and then I asked myself, well, why did they call it Iceland? Comment down below. Tell me how you feel about that there. Let's get back to this video.
Iran isn't actually hot all of the time. In January and February, Iran can see temperatures as low as 4 degrees Celsius.
Wow, no,
Number
that
6,
I didn't know.
Greenland isn't as big as it looks on a map. Greenland is astronomically distorted on a traditional map and is actually a lot smaller than what it appears. It is still huge, however. Number 7, Rio isn't the capital of Brazil. It had been the federal capital of the South American country from 1822 until 1960. But today, the capital of Brazil is actually Brasilia, in the central plateau of the country. Number 8, Texas isn't the largest state. Texas is approximately 678,000 square kilometers, while Alaska is around 1.5 million square
Know
kilometers.
that.
So, around double. Number 9, Mount Everest isn't technically the tallest mountain in the world.
What?
Ecuador's Mount Chimborazo protrudes further out due to it being closer to the equator. Mount Everest is the tallest by height by sea level. Number 10, Johannesburg is not the capital of South Africa, and neither is just Cape Town. It is in fact Bloemfontein, Pretoria, and Cape Town. Number 11, Antarctica is actually the driest continent on Earth, not Africa. A desert is defined as a dry area that has very little rainfall. Given this, Antarctica is actually the largest desert in the world. Number 12, Brazil is larger than the continental US. Although the US is the 4th largest country in the world and Brazil is 5th, that's mostly because of US territories. Number 13, Sydney is not the capital of Australia. Although it is the most populated and arguably iconic city in Australia, its capital is Canberra. Number 14, the Pyramids of Giza aren't in the middle of the desert. Many people assume that a visit to the Pyramids of Giza requires a long trek into the Egyptian desert, when in fact, it's quite an easy trip from the Cairo city centre. Number 15, Istanbul is not the capital of Turkey. Although it is their most popular and iconic city, the capital is in fact Ankara. Number 16,
No, that thing about the pyramids there and not being out in the desert, I kind of know. But then when you see movies and stuff, it's always they're out in the desert and there's nothing around and it's just, sand everywhere, and all the pictures just show that, it doesn't show that there's a big city like relatively close to it. So, although I knew that it's close to something, the imagery that we get is that it's out there somewhere in the desert. And I know for a fact that a lot of people think that, I should do a video where I ask people that, do you think the pyramids are close to a city or not? And see what they're going to say. That would be interesting because, subconsciously you're thinking it's out there somewhere in the desert. That's weird.
the Atlantic Ocean isn't actually the largest body of water on Earth, but in fact, the Pacific Ocean is actually the largest body of water in the world. Number 17, Norway has the second most coastline in the world. Most people would assume a gigantic country like Australia, the US, or Russia may have the second most coastline behind Canada, when in fact it is Norway. Number 18, Java is the most populated island in the world, at around 150 million. Java is by far the most populated island in the world, home to Indonesia's megacity capital, Jakarta. Number 19, speaking of islands, Great Britain is the third most populated island in the world. Little old Great Britain is in fact the third most populated island in the world at around 66 million inhabitants. Number 20, Greenland is the largest island in the world, not Australia, which is technically a continent. An island is a mass of land that is both entirely surrounded by water and also smaller than a continent. By that definition, Australia can't be an island because it's already a continent. Number 21, Suriname's official language is Dutch, not Spanish or Portuguese. Number 22, California is actually more populated than the entirety of Canada. Number 23, Spanish is the second most native spoken language in the world, behind Mandarin, not English. Number 24, although the most populated country in the world, China does not have a city in the top 5 most populated in the world. Number 25, now this one is insane. North Korea and Finland are separated by just one country, Russia. Number 26, Greenland is not an independent country. Greenland is an autonomous, constituted country within the Kingdom of Denmark. And though it does enjoy a great deal of self-governing, it is not independent. Number 27, Florida is not the closest state to Africa. Now this one blew my mind. It makes sense since Florida is the southeastern state and cuts into the Atlantic, but it's not the case. A small peninsula off the coast of Maine, known as Quoddy Head, is a mere 3,150 miles.
Did not know that.
The closest point in Florida to Africa is 1,000 miles further. Number 28, Mexico is technically not south of the US. While it may seem a little counterintuitive, 11 US states have land farther south than the most northern point in Mexico. In parts of Texas, for example, the US-Mexico border is better described as being off to the west. 29, Afghanistan is geographically more in South Asia than the Middle East.
That I could
and
tell.
is closer to Mumbai than the likes of Iraq
Yeah,
or Yemen.
yeah.
And finally, number 30. Egypt isn't only located in Africa. Sure, Egypt is part of the African continent, but it's technically considered to be a transcontinental country. While the Suez Canal divides Asia and Africa, there's actually a small peninsula in Egypt that transcends the canal and toes the line between the two continents. So there we have it, 30 geography facts that...
No, oh, that was really interesting. And I tell you what, a lot of it have to do with the definition of things, like the definition of what a desert is. You know, making the dry areas considered the desert. There's so much things to learn out there, people. You know what I mean? There's so many nuances in the things that are explained and the things that we see. It's interesting to just learn all this stuff, you know? I thought I knew a lot about it, but I'd say at least 16 out of the 30, I was astounded. You know what I mean? I never thought Florida was the closest to Africa, though, because of the shape of the landmass and stuff like that. But this was quite interesting. I hope you guys found this interesting too. Comment down below, you know, give me some geological facts that we may not know, especially pertaining to the area that you live in. You know what I mean? The more we learn about each other, the more we understand each other, be it geographical, cultural, or political. Hey, if we seem interesting, we'll be interested in each other. Then we learn about each other. Once we learn about where we are, then we learn about who we are. And we might just get along a little bit better, because it's quite obvious that we don't know about each other and where each other are from. Let's do it, people, you know what I mean? I'll leave a link in the description as usual for this video so you can go check it out, you know, without me stopping and babbling. And I sure hope you guys are having a great day, man. You know, I'm having a great day here, you know. I'm hoping my peppy little mood is translating to you. Y'all take care of each other, alright? Cool runnings.